Good morning, Shield Wall Nations. Lovely to see your beautiful digital faces today. This is your daily report, so let's get into this. Down below, it is for global cases 22,638,630, global deaths of 792,105, global recoveries of 15,350,940. U.S. cases of 5,702,741, with deaths of 176,394 and U.S. recoveries of 3,063,252. So, that's all I gotta say about COVID. COVID is COVID. That's all I gotta say. Let's see. This Vox's Matthew. You know me with names. Holy cow. Yglesias. I'm just going to call him Matthew from now on. Writes that the Democratic Party is split between a revolution and restoration, and that the revolution wing's rise to is create more competent right-wing populist backlash. Matthew also writes that one factor driving both left-wing and right-wing populism is growing distrust. The points to several surveys and shows distrust in the generally been and has generally been on the rise since the early 1970s. But it doesn't really specify trust in what. Most likely trust in our government, and I can kind of see that. I don't trust them. Majority of them I don't trust. There are some good ones. There are. Majority of them I don't trust. Okay, let's see. Reporters ask House Speaker Nancy Pelosi if she is still planning on retiring from Congress. She says, "I'm on a mission." Let's put it that way. I'm not on a calendar, I'm on a mission. And our mission is to win so big this time that it assures our reelection in 2 years. And we'll see what I do when we go from there, Pelosi said. So, I don't know. I hope she retires. She's been for everyone. I'm not just saying for right wing or left wing or whatever. For everyone, she's been doing it too long. She needs to retire. The simultaneous political, social, and economic crisis gripping the nation in 2020 is an optimal environment for a developing insurgency. Riots fueled by historical racial grievances and fervent opposition to the Trump administration have created a substantial breeding ground for far-left violence. Anarchists and socialist revolutionaries are shielded from law enforcement in the streets by organized mass protests of co-opt liberals. These disruptive protests and riots are further abetted in many cases by sympathetic politicians. In addition, the coronavirus pandemic has provided another complicated landscape for the insurgency to grow. Economic shutdowns in response to the pandemic have left many in the state of heightened susceptibility to propaganda on the left, as well as angered many against small business owners who have previously forced to close. These growing oppositions sentiment on the right, both against the far left insurrections and government policies disrupting the economic and financial conditions. A contested or disruptive election this fall will be likely triggered by both sides to become more organized and active. Anarchists, okay, so yeah, as you can see, the tension is building. No one wants a civil war, even though some say there's a soft civil war going on where it's kind of behind the scenes of almost pokes and jabs kind of thing. So we'll see, and I hope there isn't, because I like the way life is kind of right now. It says, in a recent speech, revolutionary anarchist Idris implored far-left insurgents in Seattle to think creatively and strategically about the chaos that they're carrying out in the streets. Robinson called for the escalation of open violence and destruction of private property to combat the right as a fascist oppressor. Building on ongoing riots and pandemic conflicts, Robinson concluded, what is up to us is to deepen and strengthen the spontaneous organization so that we come up with something together that is more terrible and even more powerful, something that splits American society in half. So they call the right basically Nazis, right? They call the right fascist oppressors. But yet they're the ones that want to destroy the country. That's why I constantly say the left is mentally ill. Because what they say makes no sense. And how's the right oppressors? Oh, because Trump was voted in. And that's what the majority wanted. Oh, I'm sorry you're oppressed. Fools. It says, members of the Minneapolis Black Lives Matter posted their justice resolution of 24 demands in response to city officials pushing to reopen the 4-block area. The demands include firing a long list of criminal justice system employees, ending qualified immunity for police officers, and holding the Floyd murder trials in Minneapolis, as well as funding an undoing racism training and supporting black-owned businesses. The resolution warned that the activists will occupy and defend the areas barricaded and will consequently expand into other neighborhoods if their demand is not met. So they want funding to undo racism for undoing racism training. So will they be attending these classes and finally open their eyes like, wow, we're majority of the racists nowadays, and we're openly racist, and the media shows that we're racist, and everything that we think is okay, not okay with racism, is what we're doing. Would they see that? No, they won't. Okay, it says, at a public hearing, a man named Carlos Zapata warned government officials in Shasta County, California, that a armed rebellion is coming if the government imposed pandemic restrictions were not lifted soon. Zapata stated, real good citizens are going to turn into real concerned and revolutionary citizens real soon. Zapata continued, this is a warning for what's coming because it's not going to be peaceful for much longer. It's going to get real. So, people are going to kill people because of the restrictions. I mean, I understand restrictions. This is why I don't get it with restrictions. And they say that wear your masks. Everyone will be safe for wearing masks. Okay, cool. I want to go to this public area. No, you can't. Well, if we're all wearing our masks, we can, right? No, it's not safe. See, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, I kind of see where he's coming from, lift the restrictions because they're really ridiculous and we don't believe your bullshit. But at the same time, I don't think violence is necessarily the answer. I mean, I don't think it's the answer. But I guess the answer could be burning down the entire area because it works for Black Lives Matter and Antifa, right? So, I mean, destroy buildings or something. It's working, right? Might as well keep doing it. Several hundred rioters descended on Multnomah County building last night, throwing large rocks and smashing windows. The crowd attempted to burn the building down after tossing lit objects through the broken window, spraying lighter fluid inside, rolling flaming dumpsters towards the building. The county chair, Deborah Kafoury, responded by saying, I acknowledge that there is a grave injustice in the world and there is a violent and tragic history of oppression in our country. I'm committed to the transformational change. That's it for the report. It's bothering me, the point that we're at. Yeah, there's racism in the world. And sorry, it will never, ever end. Someone will be racist to someone, right? And a lot of people think the definition of racism only pertains to a majority being discriminating and hateful towards a minority. No, that's not the only definition. Another definition is one race hating the other race. And we see a very open and almost unwanting to recognize, right? And almost okay with black people being racist towards white people. And those people, some white people that they be, aren't all white. Blood, they're not white. There's Hispanic people that are whiter than me and have blonde hair. Right? So there are groups of people out there that are racist. And they deny that they're racist because I can't be racist. I can do exactly what white people did to black people back in the day, but that doesn't make me racist. It still makes you a piece of crap whether you're racist or not. Whether the definition of racism applies to you, it still makes you a piece of crap. Doesn't make it any more right. You're still hurting people. You're still discriminating against people, and still you're still holding people down based on the color of their skin. So you're fighting for equality. You don't want equality. You want supremacy. So why don't you get off that box that you're lying on and tell the damn truth? Because we all see it. Except for your dumb sheep that follow you. So get off your high horse. You do not want equality. You want supremacy. And the sad thing is that our government is giving to every need your pathetic, weak group wants. Anyways, I digress. I hope the terrorist group Antifa and BLM gets exactly what they want. I hope they're completely and utterly destroyed so we can get back to the way of life and continue to build to equality. Not supremacy of any kind, but equality. And that will come with the destruction of the BLM movement and Antifa. And I hope that happens. Any way possible. Shield Wall Nation, stay strong. Stay resilient. Shield Wall.